Well, now I'm not going to say what I wanted to say.
Hey, we can always cut things out.
Yeah,
No.
I do edit. I do typically edit if I record gratitudes unless they're really good. I should just record them all the time because sometimes Matt starts going into his spiel before we're ready. Like he does it as part of his gratitude. And then I'm like, dang it.
Yeah, blame Matt.
Um, have you seen my Costco friends? This?
Uh-uh.
Oh, it's delicious. It's kind of sweet. I mean, it's like really sweet, but it is so good. And it's like sparkling water with protein and no
My
sugar.
my gratitude is for Fairlife for making being a second grader good again. Because I don't remember the last time I had chocolate milk, probably second grade. And now I'm like, but it's protein. It's 30 grams of protein. It's good
Yeah.
for you.
Have you
And
had their elite one that's 42
the
grams?
42, yeah, the 42 is really good, but it's like $8 a bottle.
Isn't it ridiculous?
Oh my God,
Yeah.
It is ridiculous, but yes, it is good.
that was a lot. Well,
So I throw one of these plus an extra scoop of protein into my creamy with
oh,
with some sugar-free pudding and some cottage cheese, which you would never know that Ramil can tell you. He's
it's
like, man, I'm never gonna eat cottage cheese. But
he's like,
he's
there it
pointing at
is.
his creamy, and then you got a 60-gram protein ice cream that's only like 320 calories for the entire pint, and only like 4 to 6 grams of sugar, and like 58 grams of protein.
Yep.
I
Just
need
saying.
me.
Just saying.
And I hate cottage cheese, but
But it
cannot
create
taste it.
it's the texture and the protein that it adds.
That's awesome. Well, it is 9:01. Let's get started with gratitudes and wins on this lovely Wednesday.
Why was my gratitude for
Well,
Fairlife?
that was yours. Oh yeah, your
I'm
chocolate.
grateful for Fairlife making me feel 8 again.
That's awesome. I need to get a creamy. Y'all talked about it. And I'm like, oh man, I want high protein ice
So
cream.
like, yeah, so like there's a lot of people that jumped on the creamy hype and then they're on marketplace for like half off and they've only used it like 3 times. So
Oh, even better.
so
Okay.
you know you can get a good one. But like Costco had a deal that was almost as good as marketplace for brand new, and I felt like behind the curve. So I know Brad and Ramil got one at the Costco deal, which was a good deal.
I love ice cream.
Who's next? Get it. I got another gratitude. I'm really excited for my $100 million models hardback book and VIP package from acquisitions.com arriving today.
I have been reading about the hysteria around that and how incredible it went. And he's amazing.
I
Amazing.
find it really interesting. I want you guys to pay attention to the haters that pop up because of it. And these same haters were on the Hormozy bandwagon early, but then something's flipped for them, and it goes back to exactly the same thing that he said is like people only cheer for you until you've done more than them.
Yeah.
They'll cheer for you at the beginning, and then there's nothing in the middle, and then they'll cheer for you whenever you hit your goal. But if you keep going, don't expect the cheers to keep coming.
Yeah.
Did
Especially
you
from
do
the
that? Did you do the big packet with everything in it, or did you just get the book?
no.
That's what that meant.
I just went for the book launch VIP package, the $40 thing. I didn't spend
Oh,
six
gotcha.
grand.
Didn't
Yeah,
do the
no.
6 grand. I keep seeing people that did the
I
six
didn't
grand, and
jump
I'm
in
like,
on the six
oh,
grand pack.
yeah.
I gotta I gotta pump the brakes a little bit and like execute on what I got.
No, I totally get it. I totally get it. I wasn't sure. I was actually gonna say if you got the 6 grand, that meant you got 200 books and you got us each one, right? That's part of
Surprise!
that deal.
That didn't happen.
Oh. Well, my gratitude this morning, I shared it on my stories like really early, but so my kids, something that I do with them just to kind of help them have good perspectives. We pray for something that we call God winks. So little things that just little tiny things that pop up in your day that just show you that, God thinks about you and loves you and cares about you. So Cedar and I pray for this on the way to football practice this morning. And I got home, I got out of my car, and it had been really overcast, but the clouds had kind of blown back. And there's literally a wink in the sky. There's like a tiny little sliver of moon and a star or planet right next to it. And I was like, oh, I prayed for God winks this morning, and the sky is winking at me. And it was just a sweet little reminder this morning of God's goodness. So woke up all the rest of the kids to go show them, and they were all excited. They're like, "Mom, your prayer got answered so fast." And I was like, "Yeah." It was
I
sweet.
love this, Audra, because I think whether it's like a God thing, a universe thing, whatever, like we all believe in like this energy and power we put out, and there's a whole perspective on you have to believe that something's going to happen for it to come to you. Um, so yeah, I think you just hit it on the head there with like you pray for something, right? You ask for something, you're putting it out there, and it just shows up.
Yeah, it was awesome. Who else? Who is next?
I'll go. So I am grateful that I started my second year of school ministry last night,
Nice.
and I am so excited. It was so fun. It was so good. And then I'm meeting someone for coffee this morning, and then I have a walkthrough this afternoon for a closing on Friday.
Yay! And your birthday is Friday.
And my birthday is Friday.
That's a good birthday.
Yeah.
Friday. Nice.
I wonder what color the cake will be.
Pink or pumpkin spice?
There you go.
Pumpkin spice.
Audra knows I'm pumpkin spice. I'm the basic white girl, pumpkin spice, everything.
Somebody tell me what's the difference between pumpkin spice and carrot cake? Because I feel like they're almost the same, but different.
They're not. They're not. They're not. They're both good, but they're not the same.
Any more before we jump in today? No?
Let's go.
Okay, well, Michelle and I were talking this morning, and man, her Mindset Monday topic Monday was so excellent. And it has kind of stuck with me this week about keeping promises to yourself and how important that is and what it does in your brain. And I was thinking, like, okay, how can we take that, but actually implement it into our everyday lives, into our businesses? And then I heard a couple of other crazy statistics. One of them is that in the last 12 months, 71% of agents have not sold a house. Not a single one. 71%, which is crazy. And then a few weeks ago, I heard that there's this, John Cheplack, all of his people are tracking, like all of his ISAs are tracking activities at a very, very high level. And they are noticing that to have the same amount of business today as you did in 2017, you have to do double the work to get the same amount. And that's if you actually choose to do it, because, all these people that aren't selling anything are obviously not doing the activities, but they're probably quitting and hanging up their license. I was talking to somebody else this morning that was talking about retention and people leaving their brokerage because it's hard, because people don't want to do the basics. They don't want to double up on the basics. And that combined with what Michelle was talking about with the keeping promises to yourself, creating good habits, I think just everything getting back to the basics of our businesses, but also what are the things in your business right now that you should be doing or you should be doubling down on, but for whatever reason, you're not. Whether it is fear, not knowing where to start or what to do or how to get going, finding the time to working on your time block to make sure you've got ample time for those things. What are the things that you need to create habits around, but you're not doing it? So that's question number one. We'll start there. Anybody want to be very transparent and throw that out there? What's the one thing that you're not doing?
I would say consistent lead generation. Like I'm doing lead generation, but I'm not doing it as purposeful, like time blocked. It's happening in the cracks.
Consistent time blocked lead gen. Is there any specific type of lead gen or just as a whole in general?
So I'm doing lead generation both around recruiting for the team and then for still some business. So it's a little split of both.
Okay. Who else?
Making the phone calls.
Making phone calls. Yes. So all the phone calls, or is there any specific like cold calls or FSBOs, or is there anything specific
would
in general?
Cold calls and FSBOs, like because again, I have a toddler at home and I know that there's some time that I can work in between, but I have to like work when I can, you
Mhm.
know? And so it's hard for me to make the phone calls. But then when I can make the phone calls, I'm busy doing the things that I couldn't do when he was awake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's balancing. I'm just trying to figure it out still.
I'm gonna call that toddler balance too right now.
Okay.
Because I understand that, man. When I started in real estate, I had, let's see, Glory was 5, so Cedar was 3, and the twins were 2. Or maybe that was all shifted down a year, something like
Yeah.
that. And that was a real struggle because I wasn't home most of the time and figuring out, okay, how can I do this with them still at home? So
Mhm.
I get it. What else? Anybody else want to share something that you know you should be doing or doubling down on, but you're not? Nobody else? Okay. Well, then we'll just go with these two.
Also the call.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that? I missed that. Yeah, I don't know who it was. So, okay, let's start with Michelle's with your consistent time blocking and lead generation. So, and this same thing is going to apply across the board to anything that is showing up that you know you should be doing, but you're not. But breaking it down into those manageable tasks that you can start really, really small. If you've read the book Atomic Habits, he talks about breaking things down into itty bitty teeny little bites, getting consistent with that, and then just layering something else onto it, right? And the more consistent you are, the more you start building those new neural pathways in your brain because you're keeping your promise to yourself, and it's going to become just second nature. It's just what you do. It's who you are. And then one of my favorite quotes from Monday, if you're trusting yourself to do everything, then other people are going to trust you more too, because you're proving yourself trustworthy. So Michelle, on yours, consistent time blocked lead gen. Let's start with like lead gen for production. What are the activities that you know that you should be doing every day that isn't happening? Like the specific. Yes, we know lead gen, but like your specific
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, so I need to be getting into my follow-up box and actually using the task list more regularly, like time blocking, getting in there versus the oh crap moment of, oh, I haven't looked in there yet. I need to get in there and do my follow-ups. That's number one. And then just picking a lead generation pillar and kind of focusing on it. Right now, it's just haphazard. I would say actually all of my business is sphere and referral based right now, which is great. But just maybe adding one more pillar in there that requires me that I can focus and control on. Like sphere is uncontrollable, right? You stick in front of it, right? But you never know when they're coming to you, when it's their time. So maybe picking like FSBO expired, something of that nature, have a role over the now business.
Okay, so let's take FSBOs because I know that you have an incredible FSBO plan. And if anybody wants that plan in detail, reach out to Michelle. So, but let's start with that. So if you had to do one thing, even if it's one small thing, I know finding the time, adjusting your schedule around to build this time out can be a challenge. So what is one thing that you can do, even if it's like literally one task, one thing that you can start doing every single day?
I literally could just pick one FSBO and call them every day, because then I would be doing 5 more calls than I am every week for FSBOs.
And it's just 5 calls, right? Over the course of a week. So that is maybe less than an hour, right? 5 calls. And so just starting there, starting with something so small, FSBOs, expireds. If it is your sphere and you haven't really been reaching out to it, what if you make one sphere phone call a day? One call to a friend, one handwritten note. just one thing every single day until that is a habit. And then you can start doing 2, or then maybe you bump it up to 5. But going back also to what you said, you have to put on your calendar, right? You've got to time block it, and then you have to stick to it. So you start training your brain, like, this is just what I do every single day, right? And then it just becomes easy, might not be the right word, simple, because you're just training yourself, you're trusting yourself, and you're proving yourself trustworthy to everyone that's watching you. So then, and really the same thing when it comes down to recruiting. What if you call one agent a day? Set one appointment a day. If you just set one appointment a day and say half of them you hold, how many agents are you actually going to get in front of over the course of a month? Quite a bit, right? And if half of those actually come over, you're getting quite a bit. You're growing.
Yeah, and I would say I'm definitely more focused and good about making my contacts for recruiting every day. It's just more that consistency. If I knew I time blocked, I think I would hit more than I do. More that one I would say is more not lack of activity, it's lack of focused activity, and just fitting that one in the nooks and crannies. So I think being like more intentional, more consistent, like just blocking the time like it's another appointment. Even a half hour, I think, could very easily make a difference on that one.
So what do you think is the thing that is keeping you from blocking it on your calendar, but also sticking to the time?
I think truly for me, it's interruption. Like I have the team and some mentees, and so there's a lot of interruptions, and I feel, which is why I need to time block more. As I'm saying this out loud, I'm like, well, duh, that's why you need time block more. But I think for me, it's just trying to be available for everybody.
Yeah. So if you're out showing a house to a client, like you have $1 million client, you're looking, maybe it's not even $1 million, $200,000 client, and you're showing them properties and a team member calls. Do you take that call in the middle of a showing? No?
No.
If you're in the middle of a listing appointment or a buyer consult and somebody calls you, do you take that call then?
No.
Because
Nope.
you have an appointment with them, right? And you're gonna.
Right.
So what if you set a 1-hour appointment for yourself, 30 minutes appointment for yourself, but treat yourself and your time, like that appointment, the exact same way? Like set that, if somebody calls you, hey, I have an appointment, you can set up like the autoresponder on your text or something. I'll call you after this appointment. And then you just stick to that. So that way, built in, even if it's just 30 minutes, you're getting that time and you're not unavailable to people. You're just making sure that you're doing what you need to do, and you're setting that example for them as well.
Yeah.
So set that appointment with you and honor that appointment the same way that you would. I mean, I'm on your calendar for this afternoon, right? So we're both going to show up and be there. Do the same thing for you, and then you'll be able to get that time in and get those tasks done.
Love it.
So, okay. So I've lost my note. Oh, here it is. Okay. Megan, let's talk about toddler balance. Actually, first, anybody else have any thoughts around that and on how we broke it down from this big wanting to have consistent lead gen down to literally blocking 30 minutes? It's just getting things really granular, right? Really tiny, so you can do little bits at a time. So then Megan, on yours, it's a little bit different because you do have a little one running around chasing you all the time, getting the moms, right? So same thing, like what can you do? What are the tasks? Like if you know that you need to make calls, how can you break that down and make sure on your calendar around your schedule with him, how can you break those things down to make sure that you're getting those in every day?
I'd probably, after he goes down for a nap, then probably make the phone call. I've got some quiet time. I've got the ability to go ahead and do it and then focus on all the things that I didn't get done. So even like Michelle had said, 1 phone call a day. Yeah, my goal is 5, but I'm not even doing that. you know, I'm doing my sphere touches, I'm reaching out, I'm adding 5 people on Facebook every day, you know, so I'm doing that. I'm making reels, I'm making posts, I'm doing all of that, but it's the phone calls.
Yeah.
Because I do have, you know, Mickey Mouse playing in the background, and I've got a toddler screaming his head off and jumping on the couch like he's like wrestling somebody. And so, yeah, it's a whole thing. So I guess as soon as I get him down for a nap, make the priority the phone call, and then work on the other things. Just for this season anyway.
You said something that I think is really important to notice. You said your goal is 5, but you're not consistently doing that. So it's okay to adjust your goals down as well. Like if you know that you're not consistently hitting that target, adjust it down until you are consistent with the smaller, and then build your way back up to it. Yeah, it's awesome if you can just jump out there and get 5 calls a day, 10 calls, 20 calls a day. But you've got to start somewhere too, right? So start
Right.
smaller to where you start building that muscle, start building that habit, and hit that 1 a day for now. And then next week, go to 2 a day. And then the next week, 3. Slowly build up to that. And I think something that you could do as well to make sure that you have that call time available, like 4 focused calls whenever he does go down for a nap. While he's up, you can be preparing your list of who you need to call, what you need to go after, because you don't have to, it's okay if there's noise in the background for that, right? You're just making a list
Right.
and getting things ready. So that way, as soon as he's asleep, you can be on the phone. Something else too, that somebody told me when I was in that same boat of, man, I've got to make calls, but I've got kids running around and they're making noise, and I don't want to sound unprofessional, right? These are all the things that were in my head. So I didn't make calls when my kids were awake. And with 4 of them, it was really hard to get them all asleep at the same time. I figured out, well, one, I figured out that I had to do it anyways whenever they were awake, because I didn't have enough time with them all asleep. And so I had to kind of just push myself to do it anyways. At first, I would start not apologizing, but kind of making an excuse around it at the beginning of the call. Say, hey, I'm so sorry if there's noise in the background. I work from home. I've got my kids here, so just want to give you a heads up. And people would, well, one, I never had anyone be like, you have kids in the background. I don't want to talk to you. Or the things that I thought in my head, or they didn't choose to not work with me because there was background noise. They're like, oh, it's fine. No one ever cared. But then most of the time people too would say, actually don't even hear anything. We hear it because we're in the same room. But most of the time, unless it's like, I mean, there were moments when they were all having like just a flat out brawl in the middle of the living room. People can hear that, but most of the time people can't hear it. We do, and so we get self-conscious about it. But even if they do hear something in the background, it's okay. It's if someone chooses not to work with you or not to take your calls because there's a noise, a kid in the background, it's probably not the person that you want to work with anyways, right? So like Matt said, it's you showing up authentically and you repelling the people that you don't need to be working with you, don't need in your life. So I would challenge you on that as well, to maybe start with 1 phone call a day while he's awake and until you just get comfortable with it. And then I think you'll figure out pretty quickly too that it's not, people aren't bothered. They probably don't hear it, and you'll be able to get closer to that target a lot faster of those 5 calls a day. But yeah, use that time that he's awake to make your call list. That way you're prepared as soon as he goes to sleep. So a few other things that I was thinking of that you can, for anybody, whatever you're doing in your business, take your daily activities and just break it down into little chunks. Maybe you need to grow your database. Because, you know, great if you're working your database consistently right now, but if you're not growing it, at some point it's going to stop feeding you. It's going to die. It's going to wither away, and you're not going to be getting those referrals out of it. To consistently be growing your database. So what if you make a goal of adding 1 person to your database a day? That can be somebody from school, PTA, sports moms, parents, your kids' coaches, someone you meet at the grocery store. One of my great referral partners, we met in the Target aisle because I needed an opinion on some shoes that I tried on, and I was there by myself. And so I just stopped and asked her, and we just got to be friends. We're still friends now, and this was, gosh, 8-9 years ago, and she still sends me business, and we met in the Target aisle. So you can connect with anybody around you all the time over anything and add that person into your database. Maybe it's starting right now with one FSBO a day and then doubling up because we know we need to do twice as much work now as we did in 2017. So if you are driving down the road and you see a FSBO sign, stop. Just pull over and don't leave until you make that phone call. Just do one FSBO call a day and then start following up with them. If your goal is to talk to 20 people a day, back when I did Bold, however many years ago, 2017. That's weird. Okay. The goal then was 20 contacts a day. I had to work up to it so I didn't have to sing. But you could, if that's your goal today, start with 5 and just gradually work yourself up for it. Or find someone who's going to give you some really solid accountability and pain. If you don't make those 20 calls a day, maybe you have to sing in front of a whole room. Do something like that as well to make sure that you are hitting your target. But overall, no matter what it is, you can take anything, any activity, any lead gen, anything, and break it down into these little nuggets that you just start implementing a little bit at a time now. So you start building those new pathways in your brain. You start trusting yourself. The more you trust yourself because you're showing up for yourself, the more everyone else is going to trust you too. So, what are y'all's thoughts?
Audra, I will say with our team on that FSBO plan, if you have a script and you have a plan, they're hitting one appointment for every 5 people they talk to.
That's
Not every 5 calls, obviously contacts, but 1 out of every 5. So if you made 5 contacts a week, that would get you one appointment a week.
yeah.
I mean, I think sometimes it's just those little things. And I think you can definitely take the small chunks of things, right? Like if you only have a small period of time, maybe you need to focus on the things that are going to be highly convertible versus cold leads that aren't going to go anywhere, right? You have to think your strategy through, but I think it's about taking those little blocks of time that we have, filling things in, and then finding the wins so that we reprogram our brain to think that wasn't so bad and I got something out of it.
Yeah. Man, even if you're only converting 25% of those appointments, that's still a new listing a month.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For making one call or setting one appointment for every 5 calls.
Yep.
So if you
Yeah,
did
it's
5 calls a day, which you can do, I mean, that is a very doable, like for anybody on here, I guarantee you making 5 FSBO calls a day is doable. You can find the time somewhere in your day for that. And you got one appointment out of that. That's well, you'd actually get a little bit more than one. But yeah, that's something simple that you can do that's going to make a big impact. If you get one new listing a month and it closes, if you're consistent with that, then pretty soon every month you're going to have a closing from those listings, right? So there's 12 listings a year from calling 5 FSBOs a day.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
already timed better than 71% of the other agents in the country by making
Yeah.
5 calls a day.
I would say Megan also. So the first, I would say, year and a half, when I was an agent, was all cold calling. And one of the things, I had to learn, which, it was hard in the beginning, especially, but I knew I had to make my calls was, I mean, one, you just call whenever you can. So if that meant, I was calling when I was driving, home, to an appointment, even if it was just one phone call, I was squeezing in those calls whenever I could. And then really as of late, the I would say the second and third tier from that, even if I can't make my calls, that I'm always going to send like a text message or an email. I mean, calling is obviously the number one priority, but if I know for sure that I just cannot make my calls, it takes 2 seconds to get in front of them with a text message. And I've had lots of success with that, reaching out to people. Sometimes, it's even better. It takes however many calls for you to get a hold of somebody when you're calling them, and then just think about how many different things they could be doing at that time when you decide to call them, right? And they might not call you back, but a text message is always sitting there. So I get, pretty good response from them, even for, FSBOs and expireds. I yesterday actually went on a FSBO appointment. I saw Kevin there, by the way. He was there after me. But on that appointment, I got it just from a text message. Like I texted him. He ended up calling me back. We had a conversation and set the appointment. So yeah, if you can't make calls, I would say secondary, send a text message, just get in front of them, you know, however you can.
Yeah.
He told me it was sold at.
Ramiel, Kevin just walked in too, so I'm just reminding you that it's on.
Yeah, I figured. I figured when I took the appointment, he was like, the guy on the phone was like, yeah, he's like, I'm meeting with the guy. He was like, he's actually, you know, doing the same thing that you're doing. And so I was like, well, it has to be someone from your guys' team, because I don't know anybody else that like sets up, you know, the appointments that way. And yeah, sure enough, it was Kevin.
Right on.
That's awesome. So, well, it is right at 9:30. Michelle and Megan, thank you for being vulnerable and putting your stuff out there so we can use those as examples. Everybody else, look at your time, look at your day and see what are the things that you know you should be doing and aren't, or the things that you need to double down on, and break them down into those manageable chunks and just get after it. Start small and start trusting yourself. Start proving yourself trustworthy and get the things done. So y'all have an amazing rest of your week, and we will see you Friday.
Bye, guys.